So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our best-based cloud server, or you can use another brand of cloud servers, to generate an SSL certificate for the website we run on the server. We're going to be using Let's Encrypt, which is a certificate authority that is free, and it allows you to create signed certificates that are valid in 99.9% of browsers, and they're 100% free. So to get started, what we're going to do is we first need to have a Ubuntu server. So here you can see this is a VPS that's running Ubuntu 14.04 and it's running the 68-bit version. So what I did to do that was I just used the same VPS from the last video. I click OS reinstall. When that loads, I go down here and I look for Ubuntu 14.04. I just choose a password and I click reinstall. Whenever that's done, it usually takes about a minute. Then the VPS is good to go. It's like a brand new VPS, and you should be at the same point as me, which is here. This is a brand new VPS. I haven't done anything to it. All I've done is reinstall the operating system. So the first thing we're going to do on the VPS is we're going to do apt get update, and it's going to update the repositories for us to be able to download every file we need to be able to run Let's Encrypt. Because otherwise we might get an error when we're trying to run it. So as you can see, it's just checked for updates and there aren't any updates available at the minute. When you do a fresh install on your server, you probably want to run this command and it will update any repositories to make sure that you're able to download all the packages you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Let's Encrypt, which is their GitHub page, which is here. And you can see this is it here. We don't need to read this, we just need to download it. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on download zip and we're going to click copy link address. Then what we're going to use is the wget command, which allows us to download files over HTTP, and we're going to paste in that link we just copied. Then when we hit enter, it'll download it for us. There's it downloaded, and if I click ls, it'll list the directory. Then what I'm going to use is the unzip command, and I'm going to unzip master.zip, which is the file we just downloaded. So that's it unzipped. If I list this again, you can see we have a folder. We can remove the master.zip folder now with the rm command, and now we're left with just a folder. So before we go any further, we need to create our domain name. Because as you can see, at the minute I'm logged into the VPS and I'm using its IP address, but for SSL certificate to work, we need to give it a host name. So if I go back to BestSpace, you can see the host name I chose for this server was cloud.francismcnamee.com, but I can actually choose whatever host name I want. That's just the DNS name I choose to point to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use es.vc to get a free host name for our server. We can use this domain here because it's already pointing to our server's IP address, but what I'm going to do to make this as affordable as possible is I'm going to use es.vc, because if we use es.vc to get a free domain name and we use Let's Encrypt to get a free SSL certificate, all we have to do is pay $2.50 a month for the VPS server, which we can get from BestSpace using the VPS promo code. So what I'm going to do is go to es.vc, and this is the new es.vc here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in a domain name to see if it's available. So I'm just going to type in something like secure.es.vc. I'm going to click register, see is it available, and you can see it says domain available, log in to register it. So what I do is I log in, and I need to click this and it'll bring up my Google account, and then I can log in. So I'm logged into my es.vc account, and you can see this is the brand new es.vc. What I can do now is register a domain name. So what I do is I click the new domain button. A drop down will appear, and what I can do is I can choose the extension I want to register. I'm just going to register a regular es.vc domain name. I'm going to type in secure.es.vc. So what I can do now is click confirm to register the domain name. So if I click confirm, what will happen is the domain gets registered, and you can see here it is here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on it, and it brings us to our overview. If I click edit DNS, I can add the DNS record for our server. So here we can see if I add an A record, which is an IPv4 address, I choose the record name. So if I type in secure, because the domain's name is secure.es.vc, then that will create an A record for secure.es.vc pointing to our IP address. So the way I get the IP address is I just go to our control panel here and I copy it from here, and then I go back here and I just paste it in. Here I can set the time to live, which is how long a DNS server will cache it for. So I'm just going to leave it at 1 minute for now. Usually what you would want to leave it at is something like 1 day or 2 days or maybe 6 hours or something like that. But for the sake of the tutorial, I will leave it at 60 seconds. And what I'm going to do is click Add Record. So you can see that our record has been added. So now if I go to our server, we should be able to type in secure.ace.vc and it will take us to our server. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cd into the Let's Encrypt directory. So we do that by typing cd let's, and then if we hit the tab on the keyboard, it will fill it out for us and we hit enter and that takes us into the folder. If we ls again, you can see we have all these files. The file we're concerned about is the Let's Encrypt-auto file. That's the program we're going to run to generate our certificate. So what we're going to do first is we're going to install Apache, which is a web server. So we'll type apt-get install Apache 2. We hit Y and this will install it for us. So that's Apache installed, and that means our web server is installed. So if I take the IP address of the server and I navigate to it in a new tab, you can see we now have a web server working. It's serving this web page to us. So now if I go to secure.ace.vc, we should get exactly the same page. If I hit enter, you can see by going to secure.ace.vc, we have the exact same web page. So now that we have our domain name and our web server, we're ready to set up our certificate. So we do that by running the Let's Encrypt auto file. So we type ls again, we can see this is the folder and this is the file we want. So if I just copy that and I put a dot and then a slash to run this as a script, and then I paste this in and hit enter. So here we are inside Let's Encrypt, and what we're going to do here is we're going to follow through all these steps, and this will generate and install our certificate for us. So I'm just going to hit enter to say yes to this message. Then I'm going to enter our domain name. So if my host name was cloud.francismcnamee.com, that's what I'd put in here now. But because I want to create a certificate for secure.ace.vc, what I need to do is type in secure.ace.vc. And I hit enter. Here I'm going to put in the email address for any problems with the certificate. So I'm just going to type francis at howcode.org. I'm going to agree to the Let's Encrypt terms of service. And what you can do here is you can choose to force all requests to be secure, but what I'm going to do is just keep things simple and make it optional so that inside of our website configuration we can choose whether or not to force users to use HTTPS or not. So I'm just going to hit enter whenever easy is selected, and there we have our certificate has been installed. So now if I hit enter again to say OK, there we have our certificate installed on our server. So now if I type in HTTPS secure.ace.vc and I hit enter, you can see we are now running a HTTPS website. The reason it's not green is because inside of this HTML page, some of the files are referenced using HTTP instead of HTTPS. That makes more sense if we look here. You can see that the website is secure, but it says this page includes other resources which are not secure. So for the sake of the video, to show the green HTTPS in the corner, I'm just going to delete this page. So to do that, I'm just going to type rm, which is the command to remove something. Then I'm going to type -r, which means recursively because I want to delete a directory. I'm going to type /var/www/html, and this is the folder that we are serving our website from. I hit enter, that removes that, and now I'm going to click or type in make dir slash var slash www slash html, and that recreates the folder for us. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file. So I'm going to type nano slash var slash www slash html slash index.html, and I'm just going to type hello world. Then I'm going to save this, and if I refresh this page, you can see now our page says hello world, and you can see we're using HTTPS. It's also not required. If I delete that and just try to access the page using regular HTTP, you can see it works as well. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.